All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel and to our last tank to talk about. All right, so obviously, Prot Paladin is one of my least played tanks, and it's probably the tank that I am weakest at. But I think with the changes, there's not a whole lot going on, and it's not changing too much, except maybe a little bit of our play style and a couple of talents. So first things first, stats. All right, so we are going to be chasing after a lot more of a crit haste build than what we were. Obviously you don't want to ignore your mastery, you don't want to ignore your versatility. They're both still good um, to do. So again, haste crit. If you end up with mastery, you end up with some verse. It's not the end of the world. Just don't prioritize them. All right. As far as gems and enchants, don't worry about the changes. Don't worry about swapping them out. It's not that important right now. We'll worry about that in midnight. So next up, let's talk about our talents. All right. So for our hero tree, this is pretty much what we are looking at as far as hero talents go. Again, you can make a couple of other swap arounds, right? Like there are some people who are dropping these three in favor of running in favor of running this. You can do it that way. You can leave it this way. This is personally what I'm doing. This is personally what I'm going to be running, and I think it's going to work out just fine. All right. Next up, let's talk about our class tree. All right, so really, there were some changes. Mostly it was just reworks and rebuilding, but in all, there's not a whole lot of a change to what we've got going on. We're still going to be taking our Divine Toll, still going to be taking our Freedom, doing interrupts, all things. Like, essentially, we're going to stay that utilitarian tank that Paladin has always been. You want to be a benefit to your team and to your group, right? That's why we're taking our Blessing of Sacrifice. That's why we're taking Protection, Freedom. We're taking Divine Toll for our CC ability. We're getting all kinds of different stuff from our tree. All right. The biggest thing that I think is going to be interchangeable is going to be, are we running Cleanse Toxin or are we running Imperial Ward? I think that these two are interchangeable. I personally would prefer Cleanse Toxins, but if there's not going to be any poison or disease, then I'm not going to take it. I'm going to take it for my lay hands on, just to increase for the healing and for the armor. Right. So that is our class tree. Now, when we look at our spec tree, again, mostly I feel like it just got rearranged. And I feel like there's a couple of things that you could probably play with, but in general, this is your safest build. This is really what we're going to be running. This is going to maximize our AoE damage, going to maximize the amount of threat we're putting out, and it's going to maximize us as a tank. All right. So next up, we will get into our rotation. All right. So Prot Paladin has a very straightforward rotation. Instead of instead of precasting our defensives, we want to start hitting our Blessings of Hammer. Then we're going to go into our Argent Defender and we're going to throw a shield out, drop Consecration, make sure it's hitting everything, get Judgments, and we're just going to keep spamming everything, keep both stacks of Judgment, keep our Consecration down, Shield of the Righteous as soon as we get our Holy Power, and we're basically just going to be playing around that. All right, you want to keep your Shield of the Righteous buff uptime, but you don't want to. But you don't want to overcap on Holy Power, so make sure you use it often. All right, we can Word of Glory on proc, okay, and we're going to keep Blessing of Hammer, Judgment, Consecration all on cooldown, just for the benefits that we're getting. Avenger Shield and Divine Toll, you can use them on cooldown, or you could also use them as more utility. If you don't have the free global, you can hold them. It's not that big of a deal. All right, now the biggest change from single target to AoE is we're going to keep pretty much our Blessing of Hammer, Avenger Shield, Judgment, Consecration, and Shield of the Righteous up at all times. All right, that's the only change. Don't hold your Avenger Shield. Put your priority as Blessing of Hammer, Judgment, Consecration, Avenger Shield back into your Judgment, Blessing of Hammer, and at 3 stacks of Holy Power, use your Shield of the Righteous. All right, so the only difference AoE to single target is Avenger Shield. You want to use that more often. All right. As far as defensive rotation go, you can use your Argent Defender. Just make sure you are careful with it. Guardian of Ancient Kings, that should be your oh shit button. And Avenging Wrath should be on cooldown. And then use your Holy Bulk Words when Avenging Wrath is down, when it's not affecting what you're doing, and when you don't have it on cooldown. Beyond that, that is Protection Paladin. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.